Hey, what's up guys? My name is Dom from Hole Printing Inc. In today's video, I'll be teaching you guys how to make your own custom tag. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need is a heat press. You're going to need also an iron, right there. And the iron is actually optional, but it does help. You're going to need a measuring tape to make sure your tag is centered, or lasers. You're going to need a silhouette cameo to print out your vinyl. And you're going to need a PC. So turn on the heat press, and let's go grab a shirt. The first thing you want to do is to take your t-shirt and flip it inside out. Right. Once your t-shirt is flipped inside out, this is how it should look. Now, you have two options. You can either try, and if you have like a big enough shirt, you can try to load it like this on the press. This is not going to work for us since it's the small. That's why I took a small, to show you guys how to do it a bit more complicated. The tag doesn't really look centered. So what we're going to do, we're going to measure the tag to make sure it's centered. If it's not centered, we're going to make our own measurement. Take our two seams right here. As you guys can see, there's a seam here and there's a seam here. So take your first seam and measure, like I previously said, about 8.5. And if we go here, we have about 9.5. So the tag our tag is actually going to be 1 inch further away from the actual tag that's on the garment right now. So take your tag, leave it there for now because we have a pretty good center point. And after, we're going to print out our logo and we're going to be placing our tag just next to this tag. So once you're here, you're going to do File, Open. I assume you guys already have your logo. So in this case, we're just going to go here to 4 doors. I'm going to be opening the logo right here. And then we're going to do the usual. As you guys already know, you go here on the 4th option. You click here. Select Trace Area. You're going to trace your logo, trace, remove the black part, delete, select this, and a tag I would suggest nothing more than 3 inch. You can maybe go 4 inches, but I'll go exactly 3 inches. There you go. And then you're going to do Object here in top corner, Mirror, and flip horizontally since we're doing HTV vinyl. Now we're not done yet. Next thing, we want to add the small tag since we are printing a small. So I'm going to take it this small. I just clicked S. I'm going to select it. We're going to stay with Arial. I actually like Arial. And we're just going to size it down a bit. I would say around 48. Yeah. So something like this should be good. As you guys can see. Now we just need to flip the S as well, flip horizontally, and boom. As you guys can see, this is looking pretty good. So I'm going to take the liberty to print a few. So let's say you guys want to do it on Photoshop to make sure your S is centered with your logo. You just click here 50% and 50% up here. So I'll show you guys what I did. View, new guide, and you're just going to click horizontal and vertical 50%. Now you have a perfect center line. So next thing, you're going to open up the previous logo like we did on Silhouette. You have it right here, and then you go right here. We're going to take the logo, bring it to our page right here. Control T. Boom. We're going to size it down using Shift. I want it about, it doesn't really matter the size since we're going to be able to do it in Silhouette, but I just want to put it a bit over the center here. So we're going to put it right on the line, and then we're going to be placing an S. So just use a text tool, click S. It's actually pretty cool. I'm just going to use the Arial font though to go with the style of the logo. Just click here, Arial, and then we're going to go bold. Bold. Boom. That's pretty good. And then how to center it, you just go here, and boom, you have your logo centered. The reason I'm doing this, guys, is just to save some extra vinyl, and this is an optional step, but I do suggest you guys print out everything you need if you're printing your regular vinyl. So now you have everything loaded up. You click send right here, and before we even do anything here, I'm just going to load up my vinyl on the Cameo. Now we have this cutting mat right here. Like I said, anything I talk about in these videos, I do have Amazon affiliate links. It helps out the channel, and if ever you guys find it somewhat helpful, you can always click down below and get it yourself. So this is the cutting mat that we're going to be using. I bought 3 on Amazon, and these are basically pre-stick. So you take your vinyl, and this is the side that we want to be cutting on. So we load it up like this. Just load it up like this. There you go, guys. Now the trick is to make sure you stay in your gray line. So right now this is perfect. Hold down, feed it to the cutter right here, and we can print. So next thing, these are the settings that I'm using right now to be able to cut. If you guys want to copy the settings, here they are. This cuts pretty much any HTV and stickers, so pretty much universal cutting settings. Click send. Link down in the description down below for sure, but look how easy this is going to be. Line it up, gonna do one cut, and boom, guys, it's cut. Let's do it. Now, boom. You're gonna take your weeding tool. I always go with the extremity first, or like this. We flip it inside, and depending on the vinyl you're using, if it's an easy weed, you're gonna be able to just pluck it out like this. Depending obviously on the complexity of your logo and vice versa, but it should be pretty easy to weed out. Boom. So take off the extra vinyl inside of your logo, and once that is done, you're pretty much ready to press your tag on your shirt. So I'm gonna come over here. Now, as I previously said, the tag is not centered, so we're gonna center the tag. What I do usually is I place it like this. Now we're going to cut it so we have a tighter squeeze, so we're going to be able to place the logo a bit more like this. So I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to place it on the shirt. So just cut the extra plastic off, just like this, and now we're ready to press. So first thing, try to line it up and make it just look nice. So this is about where I want it. I'll actually bring it down just a tad. I don't mind it being a bit further down, so I would say maybe 2 fingers. So once your tag is placed, we're going to measure it to make sure it's centered. So take your extremity, in my case it's right here, just measure. We have about 7 centimeters, 7.5 even, almost 8. And then from here we have about 5, so I'm bringing it about here. And then if we start from the logo itself and measure up to here, right now we have about 6 centimeters, and if we go to here, we have exactly 6. So right now, guys, the tag is absolutely centered. So if you want to make sure that your tag is always centered, always use this. It's really cheap. So now we can remove the old tag, okay? But before we remove the old tag, what you want to do is just flip it up like this. Take your Teflon paper, as always, links down below. Place it without touching your logo, like this. Just make sure it's not folded in any way. Still holding my old tag, guys, by the way, underneath. As you guys can see, I'm holding the Gildan tag. Now the vinyl has not moved at all, so you're just going to release the Teflon, hold the tag with the other finger on top of the Teflon, and now you can press. So this is just going to be the press to hold it in place, guys. So hold down, good pressure. And what we're doing right now, guys, is we're basically just making the tag stick to the t-shirt. This is not going to be the actual press. This is just to make sure that the logo doesn't move since we took our measurements. Alright. So, as you guys can see, we're ready to peel. You can just take the logo like this and peel it off slowly. As you see, the S moved a bit, but this was expected since we are in a crevice. As you guys can see, there's some off contact, and that's why I previously mentioned you guys are going to need an iron. So the next step is going to be to plug in the iron and do the final touches with the iron. So links below if you guys don't have one, but this is my trusty iron. As you guys can see, it went through a few battles, but we're going to plug this in, nothing to fear, and then we're going to wait for this to heat up. As you guys previously saw in my other videos, I place it at around almost the highest temperature, so it's about right here. On your iron it might be different, but I would suggest just a few notches down of the highest temperature possible. Now we're going to wait for this to heat up. While we wait, we're going to give it another press to maybe get this S to stick. It doesn't mean it will, but another press sure won't hurt. So apply good pressure for about 10 seconds, and then we're gonna use the iron to finish it up. All right, so we pressed it a second time. We didn't use the iron yet. So now we're gonna take the iron, place the Teflon sheet over, and we're gonna apply good pressure. Now, just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna hop on here to get you guys a better contact, and you're gonna put good pressure, but not too much pressure. Tags are a very, very sensitive material to be printing on. So if you're printing tags on a cotton t-shirt, you might realize that if you put too much pressure on the tag, you're gonna realize that the tag is all gonna melt and it's not gonna do a good result. So what I suggest is you guys apply a decent amount of pressure, but not too hard, and you guys go for about 4 to 5 seconds and you look how the vinyl is coming out. You guys, if you see like shrinking in the logo or whatever the case may be, make sure that the vinyl is not like condensing on itself, if that makes sense. You guys, maybe you're gonna see an example. So place your Teflon sheet, and like I said, no pressure at the beginning, and then medium pressure right here. It's coming out good, guys. So I'm gonna do a second pass, another 5 seconds, medium pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift up. As you guys can see, the vinyl is really, I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but the vinyl is really getting inside of the fabric. It's a bit, it's hard to see on the camera, I realize, but it really helped using the iron, since we were able to get in those cracks that we weren't able to with the heat press. And if you guys even want a better contact, I'll show you guys a little trick right now. So right now my tag is good. We're gonna stretch it both ways to make sure that it cracks so we can reheat press it. Now we're going to press it one last time. Boom. Going to heat press for about 10 seconds again. This is just to make sure that the tag lasts a few washes. Now I'm going to heat press it one last time with the iron. Medium pressure again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tags came out perfect. Now I'll show you guys a trick. If ever you guys don't want to use the heat press for whatever reason, come with me. So same principle as last time, okay? This is my ironing board. So you're gonna take your shirt, flip it inside out, load your shirt just like this, and boom, you can just use your iron and a Teflon sheet. So I'll show you guys a quick example. All right, so as you guys can see, Teflon sheet, iron, and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same principle. And that's it, guys. This was how to print a tag. And look, you just do this. Yeah, it would have been cool in the first shot, eh? Boom. And that's it. If ever you guys are wondering what's the best color to print on a t-shirt, if I were to print on this t-shirt right here, I would try to use a red, maroon, a kind of pink, whatever that's going to blend well with this fabric. Before you actually print on your fabric, just make sure that you're using the right type of vinyl. This was Dom from Whole Printing Ink. Make a print you'll never forget.